Hey guys, you're watching Cutie Crafts, and today I'll be showing you how to make your very own 3D Perler Bead minion. This isn't your ordinary 3D Perler Bead craft. This minion can actually be used for storage, as you can see with his opening head and also his opening top. He can be used to store things like money, crayons, chocolates or candy, or even some more perler beads. Oh, I shouldn't have chosen red. That was kind of gory. Whatever you put in him doesn't really matter. Let's just get started with how to make your very own minion, Kevin. To make my minion, I used 5 colors: black, dark blue, white, yellow, and light gray. I also used 2 pegboards, a small circular pegboard and a small square pegboard. The diameter of the circular pegboard is 15 perler beads along this line. The square pegboard doesn't matter because all you need is a small area. Because this is a 3D perler bead project, you will also need a glue gun and some tape. And don't forget your ever so useful iron. And parchment paper. My first instinct was to start with the shoes. Make 2 5x3 black rectangles and 4 2x3 black rectangles. Once you got your glue gun heated up, glue here and stack. Then glue this part and once again stack. Do the same for the other foot and get rid of any excess glue. Now you have 2 little minion feet. Putting that aside, you will now need a blue circle that is solid and has 11 perler beads as the diameter. Referring to the perler pegboard, it is only 2 away from the very edge. So go 1, 2, and 3, and then all around make this solid circle. You'll need another circle, but this time it's different. It still has the same diameter. It is like this, 11 perler beads, but there is a circle in here that is empty. It doesn't have any perler beads, and that is what will be able to hold your coins and anything else you want to put in here. I used an inner layer that can be any color because this will not be seen. You'll have to make 4 of these, however, and then I'll show you how to assemble. You're almost done the lower quarter of the minion's body. Now you just have to glue all 4 of these together and then glue it onto here. Once you've got this part and your stack all together, just glue these together. Set this aside and we'll start with the second quarter. This is the top part of the minion's overalls, so you can see the design here and a close-up. This one looks like a smiley face. There will be 2 yellow beads in between here and this part. You can count that yourself. Then there's this one, which is just 2 here and 2 here. Make sure that they are directly parallel from each other. And finally, this is one of the easiest ones. It's just 2 here with 2 directly across. This is in order. So first stack these, glue these 2, and then leave this for last. Once these 2 are glued, stack it like this. Make sure these are aligned, and then also get this piece right there in the middle. Now you can get these 2 pieces and glue them together. Yay! Now the first half of the minion is done, and it's looking pretty sturdy. Now remember, this part is going to be the front of the minion, so keep that in mind so that you don't put the pieces in the wrong place. The third quarter of the minion will be like this, but it's actually a lot more complicated than you think. So I'm going to break the third quarter into 2 parts. Obviously, this will be the Minion's smile, and the first piece you will need is actually this one, and it will just be 3 black Perler beads surrounded by yellow, and in the middle I chose a different color. It can be anything you want because the middle again does not matter at all. You will only see this outer ring. And then the second piece, you have to leave those 3 spaces where you had the black, and then beside that you put the black, and the middle will just be yellow. When you put them together, you can see that it's a little smile. Alright, first half of the third quarter, still with me here, is done, and now let's do the second half. Alright, second half. It looks really complicated, but I'll go over this very thoroughly. First, you will need this, simple enough, right? And then you will need 2 of these. This is the same as this ring, except it doesn't have the inner layer. So you will need 2 of those, and then you make another one of these. So technically you have 2 of these, but I'm putting these together so that you can see the order. These 2 pieces you can use as any color. I just chose to use yellow, follow the pattern, but I will show you how to make these because this is where it gets messy and even a bit dangerous. But before we start that, you can just glue these 2 together and then glue that right here. When you glue those 3 pieces together, make sure that you remember that this is the bottom that will be glued onto here, and this will be the top. Make sure that it is like this. Now for the hard part. This one is very straightforward, so we'll just be looking at these 2. If you can see here, I made an incomplete circle with 2 missing Perler beads right here. If you have the same pegboard as me, you will have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces down so that you can make the circle like this, but with 2 beads missing. You see, this has an abnormal diameter. You can't make this circle on here, the size that I want at least. And I will show you how to fuse these 2 beads together after you iron this part first. So once you've got the first side a little bit fused, then you do the second side and get that a little bit heated up as well. Now this is the dangerous part because you have to get these 2 beads to go together and fuse nicely. So I'm going to just release it from the paper, try to get it a little closer together and make it into a circle. So once they are together like this, you get your iron and try to iron this part only so that they fuse first. What this piece is for is actually to fit in to this piece that we made earlier, like so. And if it doesn't fit that well, then you can try to straighten out the edges with your glue gun, like this. If it will melt, that will take a lot of time, or you could just do it on the iron, but again, that will be a bit dangerous and you could get burnt. So then it will look like this with some straight edges. Okay, so now that you know how to make one of these, you can make yourself a second one and glue these together. Once you've got these 2 glued together, glue it right there. Now that you have glued these 2 pieces on, do you know what you have just made? You have made a cap. Just remember, this is one of the hardest parts to make, and if you are not sure what you are doing, watch it over thoroughly and make sure you know what you are doing. Now that you have both halves of the third quarter finished, you put this on top, make sure it fits nicely, and then you glue this part down here, and this part you don't glue it at all. Congratulations, now you have the third quarter done. As you can see, the fourth quarter looks even more complicated than the third quarter. So again, it is in order, starting this, this on top of this, and this inside. Let's start with the first half of the fourth quarter. Once again, to make things simple, just glue these two together, these three all together, and stack. Now you can set this aside and finish the fourth quarter. These are the last three pieces you will need to make the minion's entire body, and this piece here is just a simple circle with the circle in the middle that's empty, and you go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is just that. Then you'll need to make this piece, and this one goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. And this one is another abnormal piece, and this one happens to be really ugly. To make things easier, just stack these two pieces together first and glue, and then we'll start with this one. Okay, so this piece, once glued, will go on top of this piece that I just put down. And then this is actually, oops, this is actually the cap. So you can see this is a separate cap that actually fits right on top, and I'll show you how to make this after I glue this onto here. Like a previous circle, this circle is incomplete and has one Perler bead missing right there. Now this one has a diameter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you look here, it will go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beads. So once again, we have to fuse these two parts together. Because this is a cap, you will need 3 more beads right in the middle, and you will fuse that together. And just like that, you have your piggy bank cap. Before we assemble everything, we still need the accessories. So here is 1 minion eyeball, and all you have to do is make 2 of them. This is the design for a minion arm, and when I was fusing it, I kind of tried to move these 2 black beads further away so that they look like some fingers. And this part, I kind of pushed it against the iron to make it flat like this so that I can attach it to the body. Finally, this is the hair piece for Kevin, and I had to kind of use the tape method in order to make these 2 pieces stick together, and I'll show you that. What you have to do is grab some regular tape, it's easier, and what you have to do is cover this up. Try to get them all onto one piece if you can. If not, just use 2 pieces. Flip it over. And if you look closely, I can adjust these pieces like so. And now it can be fused together. Now with all your pieces at hand, it is time for the final assembly. Because this is a cap, and this is also a cap, that is all for the minion body. For the accessories, the hair can fit right in this hole that is in the cap, and this can be glued from the bottom. Now for the eyes, I have to take off this part first before I put it on so that I make sure it isn't glued onto the bottom half of the body as well. Then get those minion arms and glue them here where the overalls have this yellow spot. And finally, we started off with the feet and end with the feet. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this Minion Kevin is also a piggy bank or whatever storage you want. However, he only holds pretty small coins, and if you're in Canada, it's kind of hard to get the loonies and toonies in there because it's too small. But if you squeeze, you can kind of get it in. So now you got a loonie, and all you have to do is take it out, open it, and that is your very own piggy bank. And there you have your very own Minion Kevin. He does kind of look like this Kevin. That's what I modeled it from. And if you want to see me open these McDonald's toys, you can check out my other channel, VT Collections, by clicking Kevin's face. What you can also do with your Minion Kevin is give it accessories. And for me, I chose to do an electric guitar. If you want to see how I made this electric guitar, I have a previous video. It shows a blue electric guitar, but all you have to do is change the color to whatever you want. And now Kevin is an awesome rock star. Make sure to click the electric guitar right here so that you can see how you can make one. Of course, this is to celebrate the release of the new Minions movie. Some of you may hate it or just hate Minions in general, but I don't know, I think they're pretty cute. I like them, and that's all for now, I guess. I hope you really find this tutorial helpful, and you can make whatever minion you want, name it whatever you want, and it really all depends on how many layers of yellow you have here and layers of blue. But yeah, that is how you can make your very own minion, and I am so happy to have done this. It's my first 3D Perler bead project. You can check out my other videos, and those are all 2D projects, but they are pretty cool too. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with another cutie craft.